day, Rusk enjoys. Hope you're alright, because it's time for the Rust rotation. Well, that's a pretty interesting looking Rust store, and by all means, I ask you, the viewer, out of all those skins, which happens to be your most favourite? Because we've got an interesting batch of skins. To my surprise, after almost 5 years on the Rust workshop, the fish roadside gloves finally get accepted. They are 99 cents each. Green roadside gloves were super cheap. Say no more. And of course, we also got the boots. But it's not just that. You're telling me in the same store, we have a white AK-47 with a reasonably transparent aim sight. Yes. Okay. What else is there? Well, you know, we got another blackout alternative option. Hellcore, get some hoodie and pants accepted. Considering the recent weapon skins they're accepted and whatnot, I'd have reason to believe people would be pretty happy about that. And that would mean we have 2 blackout alternative options. Of course, the other one being Black Ops. Okay, I mean, you might remember like a year or two ago when we had Commando and Black Diamond at the same time. Both of them still worked out quite nicely. Complete collections, so, alright, well, cool, fair enough. Training collection gets a crossbow. We get a pretty interesting looking transparent hunting bow. We have a very strange transparent barbecue. It's just a grill. It's a bamboo grill, a barbecue. I'm gonna hate trying to say that all the time. Alright, cool. Nuke Vibe gets a jackhammer. Bruceless base box. That waited over a year. The base box collection has made a return. But what we also happen to have is another interesting transparent design on a Savage Axe. And we also happen to have a pretty interesting outcome. So, just over a week ago, I presented a question to all the people on Twitter. Which side are you on? Are you on the Popstar side, or are you on the Apotheosis of War side? Choose wisely. Well, a lot of people didn't even consider that you could just pick both. Alright, cool, thanks. I wasn't even considering that, but alright, cool. You get the best of both. You get cute anime girl and sick, really cool looking Doom-esque guy on top of a, pile of skulls. Alright, cool. I mean, some of you might not be happy about anime, but they counted it with Apotheosis of War. Alright, cool. Can't complain. No need to complain. So, yeah, I think both of them will sell a lot. It's been about 4 hours since the Rust rotated. Let's just quickly switch over to here, because I'd like to point out the sales aren't too bad. But I really wouldn't be surprised if we see this, and this, yep, the top 3 selling skins potentially reaching up to and above 30,000 subscribers this week. Now, of course, in my predictions video, I'll talk a whole lot more in regards to will things still work out nicely afterwards and whatnot. I'm just here to showcase the skins in this particular video. But please be aware, all of them technically are still active and, well, yeah, we could see a lot more skins being produced after this. I'm sure many of you are fully well aware. We've got Popstar Tier 3 on the workshop, and that has had 3 acceptances in a row. So, could it be 4? Uh-oh. Oh, no. Right, anyway. First of all, let's also just point out 13 skins in total. Which of these skins are and are not abnormal? And it's going to be pretty easy to point out. Fish roadside gloves and boots, both of them, they are not abnormal. And the training crossbow, that is also not abnormal. That means we have quite a lot to chase after next, Wednesday, Thursday night. You get the idea. If you care about abnormals, you'd understand. And could I just quickly point out, in regards to last week's skins, last night we discussed how we might approach all the skins, what we might want to offer for all of them and whatnot. I actually walked away buying a few of them. So I bought 30 Redemption SKSs. I questioned it a lot, thought about it, and I thought, okay, maybe I don't want to buy 50 of them, but I still want to buy some. So I bought 30. I bought 50 Black Ops kilts, and I bought 30 of the Naval Camo roadside gloves. So yeah, I actually jumped in and I made a purchase. And why did I consider doing that? Consider watching the first 5 minutes of the Abnormal Barders video right here, skip ahead to the Barders chapter, and listen in as we talk about the Abnormal Barders support. As much as there could be issues with the Redemption SKS, it just felt like there's just too much positives and the price would just retain. So, okay, cool. So, yep, give that a good watch. You'll understand that Abnormal's super handy, super helpful, especially with all the skins that we have this week, because getting that early insight, that early advantage to find out whether these skins likely will be retaining their value in the future, it's going to be helpful, okay? And so with that, shall now hop in game, get a good look at all these skins, and you can tell me how much you happen to like them. Okay, so let's get up nice and close, quite literally, and say hello to the Bruceless base box. You might recall in the past we've had a wood, stone, sheet metal and armoured small base box. There was a set of them. They didn't really retain their value that well. But hey, they're cute, they're nice. And do you like this brand new edition? So, alright, that's looking pretty sweet. Does it glow in the dark? Well, we'll test that in a second. First of all, the lights on nearby. Are you reflective? Well, I mean, much like with Bruceless, I don't think it's that reflective. So, okay, cool. Well, total darkness, please. I can't confirm to you it glows. It only really glows on two sides, but considering you have like the gaps, the holes to pick up the box, you can actually see through that and you can see the glow. So I guess you could say it glows on all sides, but not really. Only on two sides, front and back. So, okay, cool. Just a comfy, cute little design. Are you a fan? Do you like what you see? Alright, so moving on from here. I'm sure you could hear it. I'm sure you could smell it. We got ourselves a bamboo queue. Bamboo cage barbecue. Let's go with that. Come on now. So yes, you might recall Silver Spooks made a very nice video showcasing the transparent lockers. Of course, the bamboo cage locker went up in price ever so nicely. Before that, he even showcased the large box and the small box, showcasing with its transparency you can hide them in certain positions in a base. That caused them to go up in price. I wonder what he could pull off with this, because that is a lot of transparency. Where's the lid? Oh, it's there. It's just invisible. It's transparent. Huh. Well, that will be pretty interesting then, won't it? Yeah, yes it will. So, okay, cool. It's not the first design like this in the workshop. There was like a metallic design, a metallic approach, and wouldn't surprise me if we see another thing like this again. But for now, bamboo. Looks pretty cool. I like the interior right there, but can we get a quick look at this at night time? Oh. Now, of course, at night time it doesn't glow in the dark or anything. All barbecues do not glow when they're not turned on at night time. But when they're lit, they do make their own light, and they do stand out quite nicely. Cool. So that's $3, but it is pretty unique. Are you a fan of it? Do you like what you see? With the lights on nearby, it's not reflective. Looks nice though. So, opinions please, what do you think? And now, Popstar Sheet Matador. We have seen the MP5, we have seen the Jackhammer, and now we have seen the Sheet Matador. The Tier 3 is on the workshop. I've made quite a fuss about that over the course of this past week, past week and weekend, yep. Do you reckon it might happen? Do you reckon we might have Tier 3 next week? Uh-oh, people are going to get upset. Well, you can sit there and be upset as much as you want. You're not winning, because it keeps getting accepted. No matter how much you scream, no matter how much you cry, ta-da! You never know, you might see Hazma Sheet Matador at some point. So, okay. It's a perfectly fine, colourful design. I will, accept that, okay, what's it got to do with Rust? Well, you know, it's quite bleak and sad on this island. I need a little pick-me-up. Need something to make me happy, you know. I have no joy in my life, okay? Shut up. But seriously, that's a perfectly fine, colourful design. And, you know, they've already accepted Popstar skins in the past. Garage Store has gone up to $7. Yes, I mean, that's not a surprise, is it? That was, fully expected. That also did around 30,000 subscribers, so keep an eye on that. I think that might be selling quite nicely. And if it doesn't sell that much, well, that might make it a pretty interesting investment, wouldn't it? Ooh, okay, fair enough. So, honest opinions, please. Again, you might not like it, but are you going to really hate the fact that other people like it? And they'll be buying it and whatnot, you know? So, very cool. Understood. And as we already pointed out, well, you know what? You got one thing, and then you got, a different type of interesting thing, so Apotheosis of... Sorry, I lost my tongue. I mean, it's just so cool. Of course I lose my tongue. Apotheosis of War Garage Door has finally been accepted. Now, you might not be fully well aware, but this was actually originally submitted over a year ago. I remember making a short video about that. I thought it looked cool. I thought surely something like this would be accepted. Well, it did eventually. Just took over a year. Oh, okay, fair enough. So, we have seen an armored double door, we have seen a bed, and now we've got a garage door. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see quite a lot more in the future as well, because this is looking very, very nice. What would you like to see being made next? A barbecue? Stick all the skulls in there. Not sure. What would work? Would be interesting. I mean, you could do like a locker and whatnot. We'll see, we'll see. Anyway, night time. Lights on nearby. Look at the skulls now. Look at the detail. That is cool. So props to Skin Creator. We'll see what gets made next. And of course, you know, Total Darkness. I've even got one rolled up to the side just so you can see, does it glow in the dark? It doesn't at first glance, but if you get real close, you'll notice there's a bit of a red hue. Like you can just vaguely see it. But to be honest with you, that's not going to be super helpful, is it? So whilst it is there, whilst there is some colour, it's just, yeah. And of course, get a good look at that. I mean, that's cool. But what would you like to see being made next? There's room for armoured doors. Well, guess what? That was submitted recently. There's room for sheet metal doors. Well, guess what? That was submitted somewhat recently. So, it's already been done. But what could be made next? What do people need to see? This is why I keep saying comment below, because the skin creators do see. They do read. Right? They are there. They're watching. Right then. So that's cool. How about we now turn around and start talking about the clothing and the armour? So over to here. Well then, that's an interesting addition. I kind of wasn't really expecting this because they didn't accept the tier 3. Maybe they just thought, you know what, it couldn't hurt to have another blackout alternative option. Like, you know how we hardly ever see green clothing and armour? Desert camouflage, white camouflage, you get the idea. There's tons of black clothing and armour though, isn't there? So I'm kind of not surprised. You might sit and say, Hedge, but it's black and white. It's black. When you look at this from a distance, it just basically looks black. So, okay, fair enough then. The tier 3 did look cool. Maybe it needs to be tweaked. Maybe it needs to be changed slightly. Maybe only then Face Punch will be satisfied with it. Who knows? Maybe it just needs to be resubmitted. That's basically what Black Ops 2 did. I don't think it got changed that much, but the version 2 was the one that was accepted eventually. That was just literally last week, wasn't it? So, I mean, hey, if you need some clothing, you compare that up with Black Ops 2 if you want. I have seen it myself. It's all right. But then again, you could look at like Pirates. Yeah, Pirate hoodie and pants as a nice cheap alternative to pair up with tier 2. You could pair this up with Pirate tier 3, tier 2. You get the idea. So, all right, cool. But it wouldn't surprise me if we see an interesting Hellcore tier 2 set. Like, with the spikes we see here and whatnot, how is the coffee can going to look? Will the skin creator incorporate some interesting transparency? I'm just literally looking at a welly boot hat right now. Quite shiny, as you'll notice. Quite shiny, yes indeed. But, you know, with some armour over that, surely it won't stay shiny, right? I will remind you, in the past, we had Commando and Black Ops at the same time. No, Commando and Black Diamond. Commando wasn't too shiny. Black Diamond was shiny. Both of them still worked out nicely. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, we now have this and Black Ops. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if both of them do eventually get a full set. Fingers crossed. We'll see. Now, of course, just real quickly showcase. But yep, the clothing, it does not glow in the dark. And of course, you might notice the boots and the gloves also don't glow in the dark. So, okay, cool. That's a nice bonus. Let's now focus the road sign gloves and the boots. So, you might be sitting there and saying, oh, okay, then that's well, there's some green clothing armor. True, yes. Now, you might consider, with this selling at 99 cents, wouldn't that be selling a lot more? I'd agree. I mean, if it was any other Rust store. But, of course, we've got a very interesting AK-47, 2 very cool-looking doors. I mean, maybe this won't sell that much. Now, here's an interesting little detail. Out of all the road sign gloves, there's only one other road sign glove on the right side that has transparency on it. What do you mean? Go look at the Phantom road sign gloves, the very first skins to be accepted of road sign gloves. They actually have the right-hand metal portion made transparent. And as you'll see here, made by the same skin creator, Mr. Shedmon, he made that transparent as well. It's just a weird little thing that you probably wouldn't even consider looking at or noticing. But cool. Also, by the way, I was wrong. Island Assault also has the mesh removed on their road sign gloves. Can I get a good look at those booties? goodies. Yep, let's get up nice and close. So the boots, let's just point this out. They do have like black tip. The diabetes one. No! Anyway, so it's not like fully green. But to be honest with you, if you're desperately looking for some green boots, that's not too bad of an option. And being even more like real with you, you probably don't even need to bother wearing boots. Like you could just wear standard boots and it'll probably be alright. If you're on a budget, that'll probably be alright. Because again, you're standing in grass. Grass basically covers your feet all the time. You get the idea. So, okay. 2 welcome additions right there. But how about we go ahead and put on some other fish clothing armor. And there we are. But of course, you have to realise we don't have fish hoodie and pants. We don't have fish tier 3. There were attempts. But, hey, well. Maybe they also have to wait 5 years until they get accepted. So, yep, just to repeat. The roadside gloves, they did have to wait quite a long time. The boots, however, they're actually submitted like 7 months ago. So, I guess not too bad for that. I mean... You could probably swap in some other things, Hedge. Damn it! I bought 700 flashback hoodies. Of course I'll be showcasing them. Alright, come on now. They're still reasonably affordable. You're probably going to have to spend up to about $15 for the pants and the hoodie, but yes, I think that slots in quite nicely. I think you got yourself a pretty decent budget green set right there. Maybe the jacket might be a bit of a problem because it's brown, but to be honest with you, it's not too bad. Now, if you were to consider like Easter Bloom, consider watching my special Easter Bloom transparency video as well. That's up to you. That's up to you. You could even consider wearing some Temple Tier 3 if you so wish. Hedge also invested into Temple Tier 3, so we're going to make sure you're aware of it. I mean, come on now. That's actually pretty good. So let's get up nice and close. All of that together, probably $25 at best. Not bad. Not bad for a green set. That honestly seems to be very approachable. Like, considering that the boots and gloves are so cheap. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Now, I will sit here and say, maybe we do need to just look at these a little bit more. Some people will be asking, does it actually fare well in comparison to the tank armor gloves? So let's get up nice and close. Got those fishy scales. A large portion of wood right there. Pan over to here. Is that tape? Probably. Nighttime look. Lights on in the background. Somewhat reflective. Somewhat shiny. Okay. Understandable. 99 cents. Guess you can't go wrong with that. And now you have tank armor gloves. $6 a piece. So, yeah, obviously there's that very particular difference, but they don't appear to be as reflective. And all of it is vague light green. Yeah, it might appear a little bit rusty as well. True, true. But people have been appreciating these for quite some time now. How long have you been out for? It must be about a year now. So, yeah, there's a reason why it's selling for up to $6. And I don't think this is going to budge. Yep, the fish roadside gloves are a very welcome addition. For, like, super budget options for green clothing armor, it will have its place. But to be honest with you, I still consider this to be a little bit better. Not as shiny, actually light green, but still, fish is very welcome. So, alright, understandable. How about we now move on and showcase some weapons and tools? And starting off with the weapons and tools, we got ourselves a pretty fancy looking bow. Now, bow skins, rarely do they ever actually work out nicely. We did recently see the Hellcore bow of an interesting bit of transparency, and oh, we're seeing something similar. But the Hellcore bow was like discreet. It was black. It wasn't intended to be super flashy and super shiny. Can you say the same with this? Because that's got a lovely bit of gold trim, and that does happen to have a nice bit of shine to it. So, let's go ahead and hold the Eye of the Sahara bow. If I could just move the sun around to be behind me so you could get a much better look at this jewel, I think you'd be pleasantly surprised. Now, if you're wondering, what's that transparency going to do for me? Well, I mean, if someone's at a higher level than you, like maybe you're near a building, someone might be on the roof or anything, that can prove to be helpful, especially if you're at the bottom of like a mountain or some cliffs and whatnot. Okay, cool, understandable. Can he do it? There's a pig all the way there in the distance. Go on, Hedge. You could probably pull that off. No. Come on, try again. Come on. Come on, Hedge. Come on in. Oh, no. Okay, fair enough then. So, all right, cool. Quick nighttime look as well. Yeah, you can't really see it very well. But when you're on stage... Oh. Well, that's nice and shiny. That's something pretty cool to look at. A very, very nice treat for my eyes. Now, how might I hold it? Do you want to kind of like pose like this and boom? Oh yeah, get a good look at that shine. Nice, gold and shiny. With a little bit of transparency, that does make it slightly more pay to win compared to a standard bow skin. But we have seen Twitch drops, and we have seen the Hellcore bow somewhat recently having the same amount of transparency, let alone Black Ops hunting bow. So, is this the one that's going to entice you? Do you like what you see? So, okay, cool, that's a perfectly fine looking bow. But of course we have a different type of bow to showcase as well. So, let's now switch this over and showcase the training bow. Now, by default, there is some transparency there. Let's just make it a little bit more brighter. There we go. So, yeah. Okay, we've got a little portion at the bottom that happens to be transparent. And to truly understand that, well, here's the standard crossbow. So let's just look at the sky here. Boom. And now let's look at this. Boom. I will sit here and say it is slightly more transparent compared to a standard crossbow. But if you really wanted to spend just a few dollars, you probably want, you might want to just go grab yourself a Stinger crossbow. Because, well, Stinger, that actually has helpful transparency. This right here, I mean, it's fine. It's not going to really do that much help. It's just basically a crossbow. A training collection crossbow. Now, of course, nighttime look. I mean, I see the white quite easily there. Huh. You know what? I wasn't really anticipating that, but yeah, I can see the white pretty easily. I can see the bow at nighttime. Not bad, I guess. Does that really make that much of a difference for you? Well, let's go over to here. Are you shiny? Let's get a good look at that. Not too bad. Not too bad. Let's try and strike a pose. So, yeah, more crossbow weapon skin. More training collection weapon skins. Quite a lot more crossbows as well so far this year. Are we going to see some more interesting transparent designs being produced? What do you reckon? Because I might have seen a version 2 of the Hellcore crossbow being submitted just this past weekend. Go look at my short videos. You'll see that for yourself. That had helpful transparency. And yeah, in comparison to Stinger crossbow, still didn't really compare. We should do a little comparison. So, all right, here you go. Here's the training crossbow. And here's the Stinger crossbow. Right now, I believe it's pushing over $5 at the moment. And, well, can you tell why? Can you tell why? Yeah, that might be a little bit more helpful. So, that's what people are looking for in regards to a transparent crossbow. And now for the Mecha Salvaged Axe. Recently, we saw the Wrecker Salvaged Axe. Wrecker, I can't remember the name. But it had a very similar amount of transparency. That's reminded me of the Excavator. Looking pretty sweet. It chopped good. It chopped real good. So, okay, an interesting metallic design. Nighttime, please. Can I get a quick look at that? I'm pretty sure it's still chopped good. It's just, it's not super helpful in terms of its colour scheme. I can't see it very well. So, I mean, that's fine. Don't exactly want it to glow in the dark, do you? So, okay, that's cool. But we do have a bit of a problem. We still have that weird glitch where I can't see it in third person when I hold it. So, of course, Hedge had to prepare. So if I could just quickly adjust the sun to go around this way. Come on, sun. You've got to help me out here. I've got to get a good look at this brand new salvaged axe. So I hope this gets fixed by next week. May update. May force wipe. I have brought it to attention in the official Ruskin Making Discord, which is linked in the description, by the way. But yep, that looks fine. What's your opinion? Because, yeah, that Wrecker salvaged axe from the previous week, that is still in the positive. People have been appreciating that. Could this get turned into a brand new collection? Could we get an ice pick, for example? Are we going to start seeing salvaged axes being accompanied with ice picks in the near future? So, you know, stone tools, regular tools, salvage tools. It'd be cool. It'd be cool. So, all right, cool. Back over to here. Nighttime, please. Let's go ahead and get a quick look at you. All right. Looking pretty shiny. Looking nice. But, of course, I can't show this off in third person because, of course, we still have that issue. So, yeah. All right. Understood. Well, then, let's go ahead and showcase this instead. We have another jackhammer. But there's no anime girl on this one. Well, it's just a creepy scientist zombie thing. Some people might be into that, just saying. What? Anyway, come on then, let's get up close. So yes, it's another jackhammer. Is this the end though? It was the focused item of the month for April 2026. The next focused item of the month is going to be the pump shotgun for May 2026. Are we going to see another jackhammer this year, or is that a nice wrap? Because so far it looks as if only the Abyss and the Popstar jackhammer are going to probably retain quite nicely. Unfortunately, if you have seen the Nuke Vibe collection over the past year or so, it hasn't exactly done super great in terms of retaining its value. What about this somewhat scary looking design? Look, you've got teeth for the clattering part. Look at that. Right, night time. Does it stand out? Does it glow in the dark? No. But of course, people can still hear you, so yeah, point made, understood. So, alright then. It's fine. It's a jackhammer. What else is there to say? Well, I can't sit here and say it's somewhat reflective. It's a perfectly fine looking design. But what would you, the viewer, what would you like to see being made next for Nuke Vibe Collection? Personally, I'd go for a sheet metal double door. I'm pretty sure they did do that before, but what would you like to see? Because they keep getting acceptances, so clearly they're doing something right. If you were to ask for something, feel free to comment below. Right, so as of now, I don't know how long this rust rotation video is going on for, but this would be a perfect example of me making sure that you are aware and fully know how good a skin looks, especially compared to a certain other notable skin. So we've kind of already done that with the road sign gloves, the crossbow, but we have to talk about this, all right? I know I'm here to just showcase, but I think a lot of people are going to really take a good liking to this. Yeah, it's $3.49, I know. But whilst you might not instantly notice, this does have a little bit of transparency. It's that little metal portion just before you see like where the yellow is. And to truly understand this, say hello to the Comics AK-47. I'm sure many of you are fully well aware. This has been going up in price ever so nicely over the past few years. I believe it's been around since 2020, something like that. It's been a good few years, let's just say that. Every post-Christmas, every January time, it just kept reaching up to a brand new all-time peak. But things might be different now because, of course, we got a different white AK. And this is $3.49. Do you know how much the Comics AK-47 is right now? This right here is $22. It was around $25 just a few months ago. Huh. Interesting. So, yeah, we've got a pretty interesting situation here because I can't help but assume a lot of people are going to be very pleased with what they have here. With that nice little reload. What we should also do is do a nice comparison at night time. This is the optimized AK-47, and I can see that aim sight. The yellow does stand out nicely. Not like good. However, in comparison to Comics AK-47, you can instantly tell that's a lot more visible, isn't it? Yeah, that is a lot more visible. So, okay. It's also a lot more expensive. Back over to here. I can move this around as well. For the price, for what it is, I honestly think a lot of people will be taking a liking to this. Are you one of those people? Are you one of those people that already happens to own the Comics AK-47? Because I was thinking, I was questioning my chat. Do you reckon we might see the Comics AK-47 finally go down a price? I'm not joking when I say over the years it just kept going up higher and higher and higher in price. So let's go ahead and strike a pose, try and look pretty, because yeah, that is a very nice shade of white. In the past, I've already gone ahead and showcased the SAR with full whiteout. I didn't bother with the AK because I just thought, nah, it's just too good to be true. Surely something like this wouldn't ever be accepted. Well, about that. Yes, Face Punch felt like doing something pretty sweet. So far, I am impressed with the... Are you impressed with the AK so far? Comics AK is quite expensive. But I think we should also go ahead and compare it with Whiteout. First of all, how does it look on the snow? It's a lot more noticeable in the snow. Maybe you might approve of that, maybe you might not like that, but I was asked to showcase this. And what I'll do is I'll also make it slightly darker. Let's just pull back so it sets a lot better. There you go. A nice tint of like orange and pink. Make it slightly more darker. Come on, settle, settle. There you go. Let's make it all dark there, yeah. So it does stand out quite a lot more in comparison to comics. And if it gets a lot more darker, I mean, well, it's not so easy to see now, is it? I mean, everything's hard to see at night time. Hedge and total darkness. Come on now, stop being silly. So let's now go ahead and hold it in my hands. This is the old. So let's just go down and get a good look at that. Comics AK-47 has blessed us for a good few years. Let's just move the sun around a little bit, just so we can see this in perfect lighting. Have you appreciated this over the years? Are you questioning the idea of potentially selling yours right now? Well, don't worry, we'll be looking at the optimized again in a second. But if I could just quickly pull back a bit, what we also want to go ahead and do is just make it darker. So let's just rise up a little bit, make it darker. Let's just move around so this, yep, the lighting settles. Move the sun around as well. Get a good look at that. A little bit more darker. Move around. Look at that. And then, of course, in total darkness, because people still ask. And get a good look at that. Right, so point made. I think we got a good look at that. But one extra thing. Looking around the snow. So, a lot of you might have assumed with it having a white aim sight, looking in the snowy biome and whatnot might be a bit of a problem. Not really, because it's got that black outline. So by having that, it's actually super easy to see. So again, as I look around, I just had to adjust the sun a little bit. Maybe when you look at like those trees, for example, there might be a bit of a problem. But everywhere else, it's actually super clear. It's actually super easy to see with. So, alright, cool. So, opinions? And here's the new say hello to optimized. So as we pan downwards, immediately you might sit and say, it's kind of got like the exact same shade of white as Whiteout. I'd say it's got closer. Comics is quite bright white. So, okay. Are you considering selling your comics? Are you considering grabbing a few of these? Could that potentially turn into a pretty interesting investment? Keep an eye out for my predictions video. So, of course, let's go ahead and look at this. Make it slightly darker. Move the sun around. Nice and pinkish. Still looking as if it's the same sort of shade of white. Make it darker. Move around. Still looking as if it's the same shade of white. I'm sorry if this video goes long. But at the very least, after you've watched it, I hope you've got a good look at these skins, right? So many comparisons, but satisfaction. Right, so cool. Let's now go ahead and hold this in my hands. And immediately you'll notice, oh, yeah, this aim sight's looking pretty good for the snow biome as well. Now, if I could also move the sun around, that'd be helpful as well. Because, of course, I can see that perfectly fine. Yep. In this biome, that is perfect. But at the end of the day, you have your own opinions. So, which do you prefer? Comics or optimized? Okay, let's start to wrap up the video. So, what's the consensus? You happy? Yeah, go on. Were you satisfied with today's Rust store? I want to just point out, in the accepted section of micro522.com, God, those gloves, they've been cooking and waiting for a while, haven't they? Well, Popstar also had a lot of support for all the people that keep sitting there and saying, I don't want anime. Well, you didn't stop it. You didn't stop it. You can't stop it. It's too powerful. Anyway, yeah, that had an upvote to downvote ratio of 3.14. Oh, it's pie. Hey. Anyway, so cool. Yeah, lots of positivity. I think people are satisfied. I've had some very positive words today from the chat itself. And yeah, now we just got to keep an eye on the sales. I think I will be buying quite a lot of skins. I already have for my giveaways. It's been ridiculous. But honestly, I'm quite satisfied. Not sure what we might see for May, but just want to clarify, we only saw one early pick this week. So again, I would consider watching this. I only talk about the collection continuations in this particular instance, but I think we've probably got a decent chance of seeing some of these skins being accepted in next week's store. And there are some very interesting collection continuations this week. So, we'll see what happens there. Now, I've got another video that I want to quickly point out to you. Every transparent garage door in Rust, or at least all the pay-to-win designs, basically the ones that actually have helpful transparency that you can see through. It does go on for quite long, but I do provide you everything that you need to know about these skins. And of course, chapters. So yeah, I know. This might have been a bit of a longer video today, but we did a lot of comparisons. It was an interesting looking store. And, well, at the end of the day, are you satisfied? Are you happy? Let me just quickly go ahead and point out that that Comics AK-47 is still $22. We'll see how long that manages to retain its value. Maybe it still holds. Maybe people are firm and happy with the way it is and whatnot. And some people might be asking, Hedge, what on earth is going on in regards to a certain Sky Lantern? Well, don't you worry, we'll be talking about that in a second. But yep, just want to point out, Tank Armor gloves, still $6. I still lean more towards I prefer that, but it is 6 times the price of the Fish Road Sun gloves. So here you go. $8. Barders, now $6. A certain Silver Spooks made a video pointing out that this has had some exploits for a good few years and they were never fixed. This only came out in 2022 and it was never ever brought back again. So I own like 75 of these. I'm happy. So yeah, but if you wanted an answer, consider watching Silver Spooks on YouTube. He makes a lot of very interesting videos. As I referenced earlier, he's the one who made the video showcasing Bamboo Cage. Right. So next week, don't forget, May 4 Swipe. I do believe we're expecting some interesting additions, workbench additions and whatnot. I'm expecting the Crypt Building skin. I'm pretty sure that's next week. We'll see. But no interesting new things being mentioned is what I want to point out. Nothing new that you need to be aware of. So, okay, cool. What was the player count today? Only went up to 119,000. But honestly, overall, for the end of the month, that's not too bad. It really does look as if we've managed to stay above 100,000 for this month. That's progress. That's improvement compared to last year. Alright, cool. So technically speaking, Rust is still improving. Let's hope the same for Sandbox. Don't worry, I will have a special video out for Sandbox this weekend. It's fun. It just needs to cook. Alright, cool. So keep an eye out. I'm sure we're going to see a pretty interesting Rust store next week as well. And hopefully we see some interesting collection continuations. Right? We'll see. Right. So thank you very much for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. Have a lovely weekend. And keep an eye out for what we might see next week for May 4 Swipe 2026.